conditions here in Melbourne. Temperatures in the mid to high 20s this afternoon, a little bit of breeze around, but a great opportunity to have a hit out. And away we go. The inaugural Goldfields Cup from the AIA Centre. It's going to be Mason Cox in the ruck up against Darcy Cameron. And away we go with the rebounds. Both Mason and Darcy spending more time forward across the summer as they look to really tweak that forward ruck mix in 2024. Cameron got the first hit out. Here's McCreary. Kick partly smothered off his boot. Sidebottom versus Crisp. Comes to Goey. Sidebottom. Quick hands Cameron. Here's McRae. Wants to spread it wide for Ed Allen. It was a nicely weighted kick and he marks in front of Ryan Sparks. Kick towards half forward. Inside 50. Great delivery. And Ash Johnson, who's had a fantastic summer, takes it on the chest. Come back over the off-season, having really improved his aerobic capacity. He was like a 70% game time player in recent seasons. He's now improved that. Can get to more contests and have more impact. And after playing 15 games last year, had that arm issue late in the season, he's another who's looking to step up and make one of those key forward spots his own. So Johnson from 45 out for the opening score of the Goldfields Cup. Kick looks good, is good. First goal goes to Ballarat, courtesy of Ash Johnson. His fourth year in the system now at 26 years of age, having played 24 AFL senior games. He's really entering his prime years. And we know just how talented he is. As we take a look at the replay, the sweeping handball from Allen. Bobby Hill, beautiful delivery, and we know Ash Johnson generally a really good finisher around goal. 36 goals, 19 in his AFL career to date. So Ballarat on the board with the opening strike. Cameron and Cox to go at it again. Neither an effective tap. Pendlebury couldn't control it. McRae shrugs through the tackle, caught one high, and in the end decides to go back and take his kick. Call to go now. On the left, inside 50, working to the front was Kruger, couldn't bring it down. Front and centre was Elliott. Quick hands Lipinski, taken by Sidebottom. High kick is floating wide and out of bounds on the full. So Steele Sidebottom in his 16th pre-season campaign. Here's Billy Frampton. To the wing. Up in front, this is Sofronides. One of those youngsters fighting for a spot on the list. Brings it inside. Markov. Bendigo well set in defence, so Markov will thump it long. Looks for a contest. Getting across the front. Cameron couldn't quite bring it down. Ball at the back, dangerous spot for Hill. Flying shot at goal, misses right. Bobby Hill, what a pickup. Career season last year, played in a premiership his first year at the Pies. 33 goals, 14, including 4 in the grand final. Cameron and Cox to a dangerous spot, hacked out of midair by Allen. And Jeremy Howe decides discretion's the better part of valour, rushes it through for a minor score. Noble. Here's Ryan Sparks, the youngster from Wonthaggi. League best and fairest down there last season. Jared Blair suggested he come down to the club for a tryout. He was really impressed. Quainer. Chips down the line. It's going to be all black here. Diving in is Noble. Can't control it. We will have a throw in. So Noble at the moment has the job by the looks on Bobby Hill. Howe with the match-up on Nathan Kruger. Maynard's on Elliott. Lipinski and Hoskin Elliott. Another pairing. McRae. Handball towards Lockie Sullivan, who's just been a prodigious ball winner at VFL level with Footscray in recent years. Arguably the best player in the VFL over the last couple of seasons, Lockie Sullivan. Best and fairest, MVP, Team of the Year last year in the VFL. Averaging 31 touches, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, 4 inside 50s a game at VFL level. Great to see him get an opportunity over the summer to fight for a spot here at Collingwood. Cameron's kick inside 50. Johnson does well. Thought about going with the outside of the boot, and in the end just chips it short and finds Harvey Harrison. 20-year-old into his third season, 4 AFL games to his credit so far, to go with his 28 VFL games. He's really built on his good 2023. Great understanding of his role, works hard on the fundamentals, and will get some opportunities as a high half forward in 2024. 35 out, Harvey Harrison. It's been all white early, and Harrison kicks their second. Ballarat with a flying start. So Harvey Harrison, originally from Golden Grove and North Adelaide, taken at pick 52 in the 2021 draft. Just a neat all-round player. Had a great pre-season a couple of years ago in 2022 and was on the AFL fringe early. Was emergency a couple of times. Cautious pre-season this year. Built him up. And he's good to go in 2024 as we're joined by the great Justin Lepage. Leper, lovely to see you.
Hey, Jason, great to see you again. It's been... Am I on here?
You
Yeah,
are?
great to see you. I
There
am
you go.
now. Good. Good to see you, mate. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, how are you? Things
Good.
going well?
It is. We haven't lost a game yet, so it's been wonderful.
Yeah, there you go, undefeated.
Yep. Good start to the Whites, isn't it?
Yeah, really good start
Scott Selwood's going to have to pull his finger out here.
Really good start from Ballarat. They've had all the play in the opening 7 minutes of the game. Aiden Begg now gets an opportunity in the ruck. McRae started really well, explodes away from the contest. Driving kick inside 50. Johnson caught behind on Howe. Again, a front and centre from Elliott. Tries to get it to Lipinski. Off Howe. Taken by McRae. Snaps goalward. Can he bend it inside the post? He can't mine a score, but Finn McRae catching the eye early. How's his summer been?
What a start, hey? It's the first 3 clearances now for him. So, well, yeah, wonderful. He's actually got really unlucky last season where he had his back. We missed most of the pre-season, so yeah, he's been terrific for a couple of seasons now, but I think we're seeing already the result of that.
Frampton, Maynard, Howe's handball just floats over the line and out. But 21 years of age, Finn McRae now, 4th year in the system, 12 AFL games. And it's really important for a team, even a premiership team, you've got to have that next tier pushing up to create the competitive tension and ideally adding to your depth.
Yeah, he's heading that list at the moment with Ed Allen, who's just in screen here as well from our draft last year. So we've got a couple of good young boys coming through, and difficult midfield to get into at the moment, obviously. But as we know, it is an ageing midfield, so we will need to replenish over the years.
Maynard sees it out of bounds. All Ballarat early, so some work for Bendigo to do here, just to stabilise the situation and get the ball in their front half. They've barely seen it in the opening minutes. Camera to the front for Howe. Begg on the bottom of that pack. McRae again involved. To Goey towards the pocket. Beautiful kick towards Bobby Hill. He takes the mark. I was talking a little bit earlier about just the difference that Bobby Hill's made. Just that zip, that electricity, that X factor really just added so much to the Collingwood forward line last year. Yeah,
we've had some really good small forwards in our forward line. Bobby does provide what you said, that zip, the really difficult tackle player, the class. And then we've got Bo McCreary, who's a cannonball in there. And now we've got Lockie Schultz this year, who adds a bit of every factor. Lockie's a good goal scorer, a good pressure player, good team structure guy. So we've got a good mix down there.
Bobby Hill, generally a good finisher from the angle. Right towards the line, ball still in play. Here's Carmichael, Josh Carmichael to the outer side, playing in front is Quainer. And he takes the grab in front of Bryn Teakle. Quainer brings it inside to Goey. Low trajectory kick, Carmichael just got a hand on it, got it away from Elliott. Frampton, sweeping handball, McCreary was clever. Works the 1-2 with Carmichael, pressure comes from Goey. Chad Mulvogue lays the tackle. And Jack Bytel there, the former Saint, involved there. So good to see there is half a dozen or more players who aren't on senior list at the moment, be it VFL or SSP. It's a great opportunity for them as well. And from a coaching perspective, are you looking for glimpses? What are you looking for in the guys who are on the fringes?
Well, we've been very lucky that we've had these boys for a couple of months now, the 6 of them, and they're all putting their best foot forward tonight. We have to make a decision over the next couple of days. So it is a really important day for all of these boys. I mentioned Jack just off air, but Bryn Teakle and obviously, Airy can't play. He just hit his hamstring, unfortunately. But there's a lot of boys that have done really well. A really difficult decision we've got coming up.
Ash Johnson with the kick. He's been prominent early. And he's a real difference maker. The sort of play that you can add to the mix. From 48 metres, high kick, Drops in the square. Howe went early, off hands. Dangerous position here. McRae lurking, taken by Pendlebury. There's Bytel. Handball smothered off his hands. Sidebottom feeds it out. Markov couldn't control it. Has a little bit of time. Quainer turns. Explodes past Crisp. Delivers it long back to the square. Black attack, defence rather, under enormous pressure early. It's been relentless from Ballarat. Nice kick from Longmire. Helps them find a way out to half back, and Joe Richards can just settle things down a little. Goes short to Dacos. And Nick has it on the back edge of the square. Expansive kick into the middle of the ground. Opens it up for Pendlebury. Through to Crisp. Jack pins back the ears from 48 metres. First opportunity for Black is a minor score, but we've just seen there the value in taking that aggressive corridor approach.
Yeah, you've got to have the right person with the ball in hand too, and Nick's obviously one that can do that really well. But you're right, the first inside 50 for the Black team, and they got a score on the board. It's lived down the other end of the board. Brady Mychek just had a rotation. I'm not sure why. Hasn't even, first time it's been down there.
Sparks harassed by Allen. Nicely picked up by Huswaite. And wider away again. Elliott's going to have to stand underneath this one. It's a 2-on-1. Frampton got it into the air. Howe then to tidy it up. Bumped off his kick slightly. Well done by Sparks. Ryan Sparks, a 22-year-old league MVP, as I mentioned, down Wonthaggi Way down in Gippsland last season. Gets an opportunity this afternoon. Pendlebury again, expansive kick into the middle of the ground. This time it's Hoskin Elliott. Good ball movement here from Bendigo. Limited opportunities, but they have looked dangerous when they've managed to penetrate the defensive zone.
Yeah, they have, and we've got Josh Carmichael there. He's been playing off a wing the last few weeks and been doing a really good job, so we're hoping he can grow in that role as well.
Darcy Moore takes the grab. 30 metres from the Bendigo goal. It's been all Ballarat early, although it must be said the last couple of minutes, the Black side have had a little bit more of the football and seem to just stabilise the situation a touch. This is Cameron. The ruck forward mix between Cameron and Cox. Have you spent much time looking at that, tinkering with that, considering that over the summer?
Not really. That's probably something of our repertoire that we'll use as we have in the past. You know, whichever player starts ruck, and then they'll play part-time forward as well when we need that extra height down there. We've generally had a mobile tall front half of our ground, and with Dan going out, it may be that case again with Ash and Reef predominantly, and those boys backing them up.
Noble to Jacob Ryan. Tidy delivery, and here is Josh Carmichael. We're talking about him, third-year player, 24 years of age, was a mid-season draft pick a couple of years ago, 2022, after coming from Mildura, Merbeen originally, through North Adelaide. 8 AFL games to his credit, 22 VFL. As Justin mentioned, in that wing rotation mix in 2024. He'll kick from right on 50. Makes good contact, but it was always to the right. It misses. So for a guy like Josh Carmichael, every player is different, obviously, but what's the next step in his development?
I think probably finding a spot and making it his own. I mean, he's come to the system. He started as an inside mid, difficult to break into, as we mentioned. We've tried him in roles that have been midfield, front half, and now we're trying him in this role. And as you see already, he's had good impact, even just playing the role in the next couple of weeks. So we don't have a long list of wingers on our list. Obviously, Steele's getting towards the end. Josh Dacos obviously is brilliant in that role, but we don't have a great deal of depth, and we identified he's the one with his, not just his talents, but his body composition to play that, and he's been going pretty well so far.
Moore, Glover, Jath and Allen, and it's slapped over the line and out. So much better the last 5 minutes from Bendigo. They've at least managed to get a little bit of structure behind the football, Leper, and keep it in their front half.
It is. Both teams are doing a good job. Once the ball's down there, they're not letting it go coast to coast, which is a fantastic sign.
Hayden Begg doing the ruck duties here. Another fourth-year player, 21 years of age. Came through the mid-season draft in 2021. Exciting young prospect. Allen towards the wing. Free kick. Billy Frampton and Cameron coming together. Advantage to be paid. Tom Mitchell pumps it back inside 50 again. Good body use there from Glover, and nicely read at the back by Charlie Dean. Excitement around having Charlie Dean fit and healthy. Really talented key defender. Sidebottom. Quainer wants to take on Ryan. He gets corralled. Carmichael committed to the tackle, and Sidebottom escaped. Towards the wing. Slapped away from Goey. Umpire says free kick. Bytel got the job on him right now. Johnson Had a good first term, goes to the pocket, finds Jamie Elliott. He'll go back and take a shot. So good ball movement there from Ballarat.
Yeah, it started with Charlie Dean. It's good to see him back. I mean, two seasons ago when we first got here, we identified he'll be our fullback for round one, and 2 weeks before the season started, he got that hot spot in his foot and hasn't. And then the year later, the same thing again, and hasn't been able to get out there. It's a sad story, but it's wonderful to see him out there and playing well. We think he's got a bright future as well.
Just 11 VFL games in his 4th season now. As Elliott tugs it left and misses the light. So Charlie originally through Wesley College and Collegians, and then 8 games at Williamstown, won the Fothergill Round Mitchell medal as the most promising youngster in the VFL. That's a pretty good indication of getting onto an AFL list. So great to see him get an opportunity this year. Richards to Noble. Myercheck wants to cut back inside. Dean was in good position there. He filled the gap, and that prevented Myercheck from delivering it quickly inside 50. Dean got back. Here's an opportunity. Quainer be immediately tackled. Now to Dean. Dribbles it along the ground. Might this work for Allen? He's got some support. McRae. Moore. And they can bust away off half-back. McRae received the handball. Sullivan back to Finn McRae. 3rd involvement in the chain. Delivery to 50 is good. Finds Lipinski. He's got Kruger tracking back. He's got Elliott short. Frampton's going to have to make a decision. And that was good, smart football. And well done. Great defensive work to get back from Maynard. Force a contest. Numbers still there for Sullivan. He'll turn, snap and goal. So good forward running from the white team. Ballarat managed to get that extra number, and try as they might, they just couldn't quite even it up. And in the end, that inevitable goal comes to Lockie Sullivan.
Yeah, it was a great goal by Lockie. He's had a really good stint while he's been here the last couple of months. Some training sessions he's been quite dominant, so he's put his best foot forward in that. I'm surprised Kruger didn't get a free kick. Am I allowed to bag umpires on this? It's Ray Chamberlain. Is that okay? Or
I think so. I mean,
okay?
It's Collingwood versus Collingwood, so
it is. So I can do it.
You know,
Ray's a mate of mine. He'll be okay with it. But yeah. The one thing that that all the SSP boys and even Lockie's done is the ability to play multiple roles, not just as an inside mid, but you can see there even Crumming as a half forward getting inside there as well. He's got multiple strengths to his game. He's
just been such a dominant player in the VFL in recent years at Footscray, Lockie Sullivan. 2-time best and fairest. He's been a regular in the team of the year and just racks up getting the football, as I mentioned. He 31 touches a game last year, 11 of those 30-plus games, including a 45-touch game against Sydney in round 17 in the VFL. So he's been kicking the door down for years. And very much looking at home at the next level areas there, number 33. Speaking of kicking the door down, Finn McRae off to Sullivan. Markov came through, was well smothered by Carmichael. Still numbers there for Ballarat. Sidebottom with composure as always, off to Mulvogue. Now Markov bounces a handball down the line, awkward one for Kruger and out. So Nathan Kruger, another player just looking to get the body right and get those opportunities. 6th year in the AFL system now. He's played 9 AFL games, 34 VFL games. No question about his talent.
Oh, it's the best pre-season he's had as well. So, he's giving himself the best chance to have a good season. The most amount of Ks in his legs and most amount of match practice he's been able to do. So he's put himself in good position. And as we said before, clearly with Dan out, there's a spot there, so it's just up to him to grab it.
Oscar Steen in 21, and another young tall goes against Mason Cox. Mason wins the free kick on this occasion. So a good stock of tall options with Dan, as you mentioned, McStay out. Reef McInnes as well, looking for a spot. Nathan Kruger. Oscar Steen's shown some good signs in the VFL as a young developing tall, so there's plenty of options to go to. Harrison will go short. Mark's taken by Elliott.
He's probably the underestimated one of the crew, Harvey Harrison. He's had another good pre-season, and geez, we've got some depth in that position. We've already seen Joe Richards have a really good stint and show some bit in this first term as well. We've got great depth in that position, that's for sure.
So another opportunity here for Jamie. Gets another look. And for all of Bendigo's possession over the last 10 minutes, unable to put it on the scoreboard. So an opportunity here for Ballarat to open up a really handy early lead. From 45 out, slots the goal. So they've kicked the first 4 of the game, Ballarat. It's been a great start from them. But for about 5 minutes, they've really controlled this opening term. It's really started from their midfield, the likes of Finn McRae, who's racked up getting touches. But that midfield forward connection's been good for them in the opening quarter.
Yeah, he's not up against any slouches either fit in there. He's up against a pretty good midfield. So he definitely has been the dominant player of the first part of this game. So very good start.
Had some back and hamstring issues in the pre-season last year, did Finn McRae, and then a broken thumb late in the season, just the one AFL game last year against the Bombers in round 24. But just week after week in the VFL was just a standout. We know Josh Fraser, VFL coach, is his #1 fan, so he'll be pushing for him to get that next opportunity. Here's Oscar Steen in the ruck against Cox. Steen over the top. Guess who? McRae to De Goey. This is where it's starting at the moment for Ballarat. They're dominating out of the middle. Kick inside 50. Johnson, maybe a free kick. It gets to the back for Hill. He runs into an open goal. And Jordan Ruffhead's side has got a flyer. Bobby Hill on the scoreboard. And it's 5 unanswered goals to Ballarat. It's all starting from the work of Finn McRae in the middle of the ground. Jordan De Goey had a fantastic summer as well.
Yeah, we've been very lucky. Dan McStay aside, we've had, Braden Maynard obviously had a bit of work with his shoulder, but could do all the leg work, which is really important. So he's right to go now. So most of our guys have had a full pre-season and are ready to go. And as you can see, some of our depth has come up as well and gotten better. So that's a great sign.
Which is absolutely critical. Every club in the league would have spent the summer studying the Magpies and how to break them down. Cox wins the tap. Mitchell gets an important clearance here for Bendigo. Smothered off the hands of Chris. McCreary fends off Quainer. Maynard towards half forward. Pendlebury in good position. Well done by Jath. Slaps it away and out of bounds. Tell us a bit about Tu's first summer.
Oh, geez, he's exciting. I tell you what. I mean, he reminds you of a lot of his brother. I mean, I know it's an easy comparison, but geez, he's a sleek mover, and we haven't had him for too long yet. But he's the sort of guy we're trying to be patient with, because young guys, their bodies, all those sorts of things, we don't want them to break down early in their careers. But geez, he's got some unbelievable signs. Wouldn't surprise me if he made a debut this season.
Carmichael confronted by Steen. Good effort from Oscar, and there is Tu. Takes the grab. So physically raw, as we can see, still got some size to add. Athletically, just so capable, as you said, like his brother.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be tackling him. He'd make a few look silly, I think. But, I guess that's what CJ does a lot too for the Hawks. But he's got that unbelievable ability.
Sullivan with the extraction. Kruger to Goey. Picked off by Maynard. He's immediately tackled by Finn McRae. Ball spills out. Flip backwards. Sullivan against Mitchell. Collects him high. Free kick to Tom Mitchell. Advantage will be paid. Away comes Dacos. Can link up with Pendlebury. Maynard. Scrubs a kick inside 50, not to the advantage of Myercheck, but it beats Moore, gets to the back. Sofronides flips it over the top. This is Sam Glover. And now Sidebottom looking for an option. Hill presents short, and he's hit on the chest at half back.
I think you just saw what Sofronides does well. He's always in the right position. He gets back. He's really good decision maker, really clean. He may not do the extraordinary, but he does all the little things really well.
Sidebottom down the line. Good lead, good presentation from Cameron, and he marks in front of Aiden Begg. So 3 30-minute periods, just under 7 to play in the opening term, and it's been all Ballarat. They lead by 5 goals. Towards half forward, Lipinski, spoiled away by Hoskin Elliott, taken by Sullivan. De Goey. Lipinski has a bounce, crosses 50, pulls the kick towards the pocket, waits it beautifully, and Bobby Hill has been really busy in this opening term.
There's a good forward mix down there, isn't it, with Harrison and Hill and Jamie Elliott. It's, they're difficult matchups, and when they're moving the ball through the corridor like that, it makes it obviously easier for the forwards. So something that I think Scott Selwell's going to have to look at the break with his slow defence there.
Pat Lipinski, who obviously had that shoulder issue until round 13 of last year and then came into the side as a key link runner. Been working hard with Brendan McCartney on the contested side of the game as Bobby Hill steps up. Pushes it across the face. So Brendan McCartney coming in as a part-time coach to specialise on contested possession and the contest game. What's Brendan brought to the program?
Oh, obviously 20, 30 years of experience, which always helps. He's a wonderful teacher of the game and a proven star development coach, and we're all learning off him, which is a wonderful thing. He's a terrific guy and loves spending time with players, and we've had some really good upticks, not just from our junior players, but some of our senior guys that have been doing his program as well have really improved.
Ryan Jacob Ryan, another youngster with enormous potential, kicks towards the wing. Past McInnes, well done Steen. Did some really exciting things in the VFL last year, so a couple of games where he just had some moments where he'd crash packs and take amazing grabs. He's got enormous talent. Glover to Lipinski. Looks for an option inside 50, and well done by Cameron. Jeremy Howe just looks around and says, where's the support, guys? This is all one-way traffic right now.
Oh, yeah, they've had a tough first quarter, the Blake defenders down that end. They've defended a lot of entries, but, yeah, the ball movement's been pretty sharp from the white team, whether it be by slow play or fast play, so it's something to look at.
So Darcy Cameron looking to add that next element to his game of hitting the scoreboard. But having said that, he's played 72 AFL games and kicked 51 goals. So he actually hits the scoreboard a little more than you might first expect. An opportunity to do just that from 35 metres out. He's pushed it across the face. Only a minor score. So really important in the modern world that you are going to have that ruck forward combination, that the ruckman, when he does go forward, has to be a legitimate dangerous target to draw to defenders.
Yeah, particularly in our team where our key forwards are more in your lower 190 centimetre. When we do have Mason or Darcy Cameron down there, we need them to play big and play tall and make sure the opposition don't mark the ball first and foremost. But if they do mark one like that, that's obviously a bonus. But yeah, that's we tend to use Darcy for 10 or 15% of the game, and Mason for 30-odd% of the game as a forward.
McRae received from Hill. Mason Cox down there providing defensive support, wins the football on the deck, pumps it back towards the middle of the ground. Richards tries to get back. This is Sam Glover. He's taken aground by Ned Long. Another new face come across from Hawthorn. Dacos tries to get away from Goey. Umpire says high shot, free kick. It's going to McRae. Plenty of congestion inside 50. So Finn will pop it up again to a big pack. They'll compete at the top of the square. Defensive fists come. Lipinski keeps Pendlebury off the football, so it's picked up by Hill. He snaps goal. That's clever play from Pat Lipinski. Great awareness. Bobby Hill draws the attention for the finish, but it was Lipinski's body work on Pendlebury that opened up the door and gave him the space.
And he's one of the players I mentioned before. He's done a lot of the work in the off-season with Brendan McCartney in the contested ball component of his game. And look, we all know Pat carried a shoulder through majority of last season. I think that always does affect that part of your game. But he's worked hard on it over the break, and we've actually seen some really positive results. And he might even spend some time inside when we need a little bit more Pat as that grows. Yeah,
we know he's got such capacity as a high transition runner, so that ability to be able to spend a little bit more time inside, come up to the stoppage when needed, and then use his tank to spread makes him an even more dangerous player.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a couple of goals for Bobby Hill early. He's been really prominent. Ash Johnson got his hands on the football a lot. Finn McRae's been the star of this opening period. Ballarat have got an absolute fly. They lead by 38 points with just under 2.5 minutes to play in the inaugural Goldfields Cup, leading up to the season launch this evening, coming up on the live stream. Players will be presented with their jumpers. The leadership group will be announced. You hear from Craig McRae. He'll address the faithful. That's coming up later tonight. McInnes trying to get something going here for Bendigo. Turns and delivers towards the pocket. There's a chance for Bryn Teakle, one of those players who's come into the program, third-year player, 24 years of age, come across from Port Adelaide, originally from Western Australia. How's Bryn impressed in the time he's been here?
He's going well. I mean, it's not fair for the Blacks. It's probably the first time they've had a good forward thrust, where they've had good one-on-one opportunities, and you saw Reef at his best, and then Bryn, they get good opportunities. But he's been very good. At his best, he's crashing packs too, Bryn. So, we think that part of his game can go to another level.
Kicks for goal. And he gets the first for Bendigo. Bryn Teakle on the board. 6 AFL games at Port Adelaide. Came in as a mid-season draft player in 2022, and a couple of weeks later he made his debut at Port, but broke his collarbone there early, so just the 2 games in 22, then 4 AFL games last year and delisted, 8 Sandful games. So another of those players who can play key forward, play some ruck minutes, and as you sort of look at how you replace Dan McStay, he's another in that mix.
Yeah, we're really keen on him in that mid-season draft. And we ended up going with Josh Carmichael in the end. I think Bryn might have been taken before Josh. So I know Derek Hine has had his eyes on him for a long period of time, and after he did get listed by Port, we thought perfect, invite him down and see how he goes.
So final minute of the opening period. Cameron and Cox. Nice tap from Cameron to go. He sweeps onto it from the back. Handball to Harrison. He'll chip towards half forward. Bouncing football, awkward one for Lipinski. Confronted by Hoskin, Elliott and Crisp and taken high in the process. So one last opportunity here for Ballarat. Being coached by Ballarat local Jordan Roughead against Bendigo. Being coached by Bendigo native Scott Selwood. Lipinski. Again, they hit the top of that square. Cameron takes the grab at the front. Mason Cox elected not to spoil. He flew for the mark, and Darcy Cameron an opportunity to finish how they started with another goal.
He's doing well as a big key, isn't he? Big Darce. He's always been a very good mark, not just in front of the ball but behind the ball. But tough matchup for the guys down there as we hit the break.
So Darcy Cameron had an MCL early last year, missed half a dozen weeks and then got fit as part of the premiership campaign. It's the final kick of the opening period. Cameron, 35 out directly in front. And that's been some sort of start from Ballarat. They take the early points. Bendigo with some work to do and a little bit of celebration work here.
Oh, yeah. That's what I think. We did a little bit of the line dancing in the lead up, the Country Boys, and they, Jordan said he'd donate $100 for every time they did it. So there
Who's
you
he
go.
donating that to?
Well, it might be the footy trip. I've got no idea. I don't know where it's going to, but there's 100 out of his pocket.
Lepra, appreciate your time. Just before we let you go, give us just some big picture stuff. What's been the main theme of the summer?
Oh, look, getting back to work has been Greg's, and one thing we know about being in this position before of winning a grand final, the hardest part is just getting back to work and focusing on the now. I mean, whatever happens in the past doesn't matter anymore. This game doesn't care what's on your CV. It only cares about what happens next. And we've been trying to drive that into our players and, I guess, resist complacency. And we haven't had to do it too much because they're hungry. The boys are hungry for continued success. So we know we'll have challenges throughout the year. We don't know what they are yet because often they come week to week. But at least we're starting off in good space.
So it is quarter time. In the inaugural Goldfields Cup, it is all Ballarat. Thanks to Justin Lepage. Appreciate it, mate. Catch you again down the line. Best of luck with the road ahead. It is quarter time. It's Ballarat 46, Bendigo 8. Back with the second period from the AIA Centre in just a moment. Marks in front of Riley Sparks. Ryan Sparks, rather. Kick towards half forward. Inside 50, great delivery. 45 out for the opening score of the Goldfields Cup. Kick looks good, is good. First goal goes to Ballarat. Courtesy of Ash Johnson. Markov will thump it long. Looks for a contest. Getting across the front. Cameron couldn't quite bring it down. Ball at the back, dangerous spot for Hill. Flying shot at goal, misses right. Cameron's kick inside 50. Johnson does well. Thought about going with the outside of the boot, and in the end just chips it short and finds Harvey Harrison. Will get some opportunities as a high half forward in 2024. 35 out, Harvey Harrison. It's been all white early, and Harrison kicks their second. Ballarat with a flying start. Will get some opportunities as a high half forward in 2024. 35 out, Harvey Harrison. It's been all white early, and Harrison kicks their second. Ballarat with a flying start. Big on the bottom of that pack. McRae again involved. To Goey towards the pocket. Beautiful kick towards Bobby Hill. He takes the mark. Sullivan back to Finn McRae. Third involvement in the chain. Delivery to 50 is good. Finds Lipinski. He's got Kruger tracking back. He's got Elliott short. Bust away off half-back. McRae received the handball. Sullivan back to Finn McRae. Third involvement in the chain. Delivery to 50 is good. Finds Lipinski. He's got Kruger tracking back. He's got Elliott short. Frampton's going to have to make a decision. And that was good, smart football. And well done. Great defensive work to get back from Maynard. Force a contest. Numbers still there for Sullivan. He'll turn, snap and goal. So good forward running from the White. Bust away off half-back. McRae received the handball. Sullivan back to Finn McRae. Third involvement in the chain. Delivery to 50 is good. Finds Lipinski. He's got Kruger tracking back. He's got Elliott short. Quarter time, or the end of the first period here at the AIA Centre. 3 30-minute periods coming up this afternoon in the inaugural Goldfields Cup, and it was all Ballarat in that opening term. 7-4-46 to Bendigo 1-2-8. So it's Ballarat by 38 points at the first change. Goal kickers Bobby Hill's got a couple. Singles to Elliott, Cameron, Harrison, Johnson and Sullivan. Finn McRae, the standout. Double-digit touches in the opening term, was outstanding. Jack Crisp's got the job on him as we start the second term. Great to have you with us from the AIA Centre. Ballarat versus Bendigo in the inaugural Goldfields Cup. Bendigo with some work to do. Can they turn things around here? As we start the second term, Teakle into the ruck for Bendigo. De Goey hunts the football, runs into Hoskin Elliott. Coming through was Noble. De Goey lays the tackle and he'll go no further. So interesting to see what sort of changes Scott Selwood makes to their mix in the second term. Cameron against Teakle. Hill with a couple of goals early, flips it over the top. Elliott's had a couple of looks. He's got a man all by himself. Nathan Kruger, 10 metres out from goal. More frustration for Jeremy Howe as he looks up the field to say, guys, give us a hand. So Nathan Kruger had a couple of big weeks. He's been really good match play form as a second or third tall forward. Trying to fight his way into this lineup. He's healthy. That's been his big issue. No question of his talent. And Ballarat out another. Nathan Kruger's on the board to start the second term, and this has been a really impressive performance from them. It's 8-4-52. Bendigo 1-2-8. All the White team so far in this game. We mentioned Finn McRae's been really impressive. Bobby Hill really busy in the opening term as well. Their link play has been outstanding, but they've dominated out of the middle, so they've been able to play front half football for the vast majority, put the Bendigo defence under enormous pressure. Can Bendigo start to square it up in the middle? It's Pendlebury versus De Goey in the middle of the ground. Dacos versus Huswaite. Crisp and McRae. There's Dacos. Huswaite had a hold of him before the ball arrived, and some of these big names in the middle for Bendigo need to get busy. There's two of them. Dacos to Pendlebury. Runs away from De Goey. Drives towards the pocket. McInnes tries to get to the front on Moore. Umpire's going to play a free kick to Reef McInnes. And an opportunity for Bendigo to respond in this second term. Through the 21-year-old. Reef can step around and snap their second. It's low. Is it going to get there? Did it get there? It did not. Great work on the line from Charlie Dean and Isaac Quainer. Long. Kruger. Penetrating kick towards half forward. Johnson's going to have a couple to go against. Frampton over the top. Gets it to ground. In sweeps Teakle. Howe. Now to Maynard. They'll look to switch play. Dangerous kick coming across his side bottom. Read it beautifully. Runs to 45. Draws a man. Harrison. Lipinski. Well played. Ballarat get another. And Ash Johnson. Is it coming back? No, he's going to kick it. He's just enjoying the moment. And there has been a little bit of spice in the game between the two teams, just giving it to each other a little bit. Some celebrations at quarter time from Ballarat. I know Bendigo turned up this afternoon with a bit of swagger. But so
across
far,
his side
it has
bottom,
been
read it
all the team in white. And their link play has been something to really enjoy. Lipinski to Johnson. Back to Pat. And they've got their 9th. So some big names in this Bendigo team. They will not be enjoying this. So now it's McCreery, Dacos and Mitchell into the middle for Bendigo. Can they find a combination that works right now? Because it's been all Ballarat out of the middle. They'll go against McRae, De Goey and Huswaite. Teakle works McRae off the football. Finn sticks to the task. Teakle can't control it. McCreery in there working hard. You're going to see a bit more of that this year. McCreery going into the midfield at times as a burst player to have an impact at centre bounces. De Goey couldn't control it. Maynard does. Pokes the kick wide. Carmichael pressured off it by Sidebottom, who then turns tackler on Hoskin Elliott and will be rewarded. Steele Sidebottom, 33 years young, 16th AFL pre-season, the 309 gamer. He'll chip it short to Elliott. Jamie will kick towards the 50. Hoskin Elliott at the front. Got a hand to get it away. Frampton, Ryan, Maynard. He finds Ryan Sparks. Wants to keep it moving. Jacob Ryan. Carmichael nowhere to go, confronted by Elliott, but somehow manages to find a way through. They've got a road train going around the outer side. Sparks off to Dacos. He looks at Cameron and says, yep, I'll take you on by foot. Now runs out of options. We'll have to cut back inside. Needs some presentation from McCreery. Well done by Lipinski. And maybe now it's coming back the other way. Clever from De Goey. Gives it off to Hill. And Bobby streaks through the middle of the ground. His handball misses the target. It's a bit of Russian roulette through the middle of the ground right now. Ryan, Maynard, Dacos. Back to Maynard. Sparks. Looks up, good delivery, finds Mitchell. He'll pop a handball over the top. Carmichael, can he find a target inside 50? He can, it's Myercheck, tight in the pocket. So the 5-time leading goal kicker over the last 5 years, Brody Myercheck. What an incredible journey. Given when he was playing VFL football, he was the centre half back in the team of the year. Didn't spend any time forward of the centre of all, but what a player he's been for the Pies. That one thunders off the base of the post. So there's a couple of opportunities that Bendigo have had in this second term where they just haven't really made sweet contact with the football. And it's come up short. Long towards the outer wing. Elliott, was he taken high? Yes, he was. Free kick against Josh Carmichael. So Jamie Elliott working high up the ground. He spent some time at half-back during the pre-season, just giving him another challenge, another string to his bow. Dean had Markov cruising by. That handball misses the target, though. That opens an opportunity here for Bytel, but nowhere at all for McInnes to go. He's immediately taken to the deck. So it's Ballarat 10-4, Bendigo 1-3. Cameron and Teakle. Darcy pokes it forward. Mitchell tracks it back. Gets there ahead of McRae. Good support run here from Howe. Low and flat towards half forward. Cox couldn't complete the mark, but can control it on the deck. Gives it off to Joe Richards. Richards will poke it inside 50. Nice delivery. And here's Myercheck in a much more kickable position for Brodie to go back and slot their second. Incredible value he's been off the rookie list. in 2018. 5-time leading goal kicker. Got a little bit more attention last year due to other injuries around him. That one's ripped hard left by the wind, but it'll work out okay for McInnes, who chips it back inside. And Josh Carmichael will get a look from about 25 out on a 45-degree angle. So Josh Carmichael, as we mentioned in the opening term, a bit more time on the wing. He's got that elite running capacity. Can fill that wing roll to get up and back. He's good in the air, good on the deck. Had some problems with his finishing at VFL level. Kicked 20-28 so far in his VFL career. And he's pushed that one across the face of goal for a minor score, his second behind of the afternoon. Darcy Moore with the kick in. Waits for an option to present. We'll go long in the Kruger directions. Steen in there as well, so some tall timber. Pass long, gets to the back for Bytel. Good pressure from Kruger, takes him down. Noble versus Steen. Over the line and out of bounds. As we're joined by a special guest, Brendan Bolton joins us. G'day, Bolts.
Thanks, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm really well. Lovely to see you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on for a chat.
What have you made so far of the first term and a bit?
Well, we've given some great exposure. You know, Fly likes giving coaches development opportunities, and Ruffy versus Scooter Selwood, and Ruffy's got a smile on his face.
He's got the bragging rights at the moment, doesn't he?
So I'm sure they're going to have a good stir during the week of each other.
Joe Richards smothered off the hands of Hoskin Elliott. Well done by Sidebottom. Got it to Mulvogue, and he delivers towards Kruger at centre-half forward. He's got Hill one-on-one with Maynard. Trying to shake him on the lead. Chips towards the pocket. Almost. Couldn't quite complete the grab. Maynard in over the top, and we'll have a ball up. Tell us a little about your role around the club, Bolts.
Yeah, so I was transitioning into the director of coaching role and looking after learning and leadership around the club, but Roddy's having to go on a holiday, so doing a little bit more of management now. So that's what's great about this club. Let it be a player or a staff member, get great exposures, opportunity to learn and develop. So really looking forward to working with our staff and departments and just continuing to grow as a club.
Darcy Moore will thump it long inside 50. Big pack of players here. Hill flew, gets to the back. Long, Maynard, Hoskin Elliott, Ryan, pokes towards the back pocket. Nice kick. We see Josh Carmichael's ability to get up and back, covering plenty of territory on that outer side. Hoskin Elliott steps through the tackle. Noble, Ned Long, flips a handball over the top. Crisp, he's got a couple of runners to the inside. Noble, thought about linking up with Mitchell. Instead, he'll go more direct. Richards is going to have to sit underneath this one. He does. Hits the deck. Bytel. Cox. Handball goes behind Mitchell. That'll open the door here for Ballarat. Sullivan. Off to Elliott. Hits the kick wide. Sidebottom looks up. Wants an option. That option now presents to the pocket. It's Ash Johnson who takes the grab. And he's got it 45 out, tight angle. So tell us a little bit about the coaching structure, Bolts, because I know Craig McRae being a little bit more of a big picture coach, which then enables him to sort of work on finer details while the other guys take a little bit more of the workload in other ways.
Yeah, I think the perception and idea that it's been in AFL for a long time, which I'm sure it was 20 years ago, where the senior coach is across and owning absolutely everything, have changed considerably. The job's just far too big, and Fly's just an amazing manager of people. So let it be the players, really coaching the human elements of the game and the connections with each other. He does that with staff as well, and then uses the expertise of those around him. You know, Justin Lepage is fantastic with strategy, footy strategy, so he's driving and coaching coaches in and around that space. I'm looking a little bit more at how we're delivering our messages and how the learning environment's put in front of the players, and our coaches all have their areas, let it be forward, mids, backs and stoppages, and the great thing about that, you've got autonomy and trust to do your role, and I think that's really important in a footy program. The job as a senior coach is so large, and you rely and trust a lot of people around you.
Nathan Kruger with a lovely mark and to finish his second goal of the second term. And speaking with Lepper a little bit earlier, the exciting thing is the amount of talent that wasn't in that grand final 23 last year, but is around the club and pretty much primed and ready to go. Just creates that natural competitive tension which pushes everybody along because you need that depth.
You know, depth's critical. You know, I think squads win premierships, not just teams. And we look today, look at Finn McRae, what a first quarter. I don't know how many times you've called him.
Oh, a bit double digits.
Double digits. So it's great that he's putting pressure on that midfield group, and he's been around for a few years now. And hopefully it's just one of those games where you just get a huge injection of belief for him.
Back to the middle of the ground. Steen against Cox again. McCreary left it behind. There is McRae, runs over the top of it. Mason Cox goes down and picks it up, but the pack crashes in on top of him. A general theme and focus, I mean, you've got a certain amount of development minutes across the course of a summer. Where have you guys invested those minutes? Where did you look at when you did your takeaways from last year and say, okay, here's the areas we really want to focus in on?
Yeah, it wasn't just one area in particular, but we think we've got great leaders here. You know, Pendlebury, Howe, Jamie Elliott, Maynard, just to name a few. Obviously Darcy Moore as captain. And they're really keen to leave a footprint of leadership around the club. And when you've got good leaders, it's easy to be able to show the way, and all the youngsters below them can grow. And I think our leaders are doing a great job at that, and that just forms really good connection on the oval. We want as many assistant coaches on the oval as possible because this game's so hard to try and do it with just individual talent, not connection with each other, is really difficult. So we've put a lot of time. Our coaches coach that really, really well. So we've put investment in that space. We look at all phases, and we haven't neglected any. The coaches are very thorough, so just trying to be more consistent in them all. I know that's a little bit too simple to say, but just be, you know, really consistent in our stoppage phases, our defensive phases and offence. Looking to just grow and tinker. It's not wholesale changes with us, we don't think.
Sam Glover wrapped up in that tackle. So half a dozen players, well, thereabouts, that aren't on a senior list here at the moment. The VFL players are SSP. And again, it's great to have those fresh faces come in, get opportunities for days like today. Here's to Goey. Feeds it back to Quainer. Works his way through traffic. One of those players we're talking about is Lockie Sullivan. He'll kick towards McRae and Harrison, and Finn McRae takes the grab. Harrison peels off, will receive. He's got a man in the pocket, it's Cameron. Cuts inside to a more dangerous position, goes towards Kruger. He's kicked a couple in this term. Noble, off to Pendlebury. Now Hoskin Elliott from the back edge of the square. Out towards Begg. He marks in front of Jath. Will that be 50? It will. So those extra players, those new faces that are around the club, fighting for either list spots or on the VFL list looking to impress, that just adds another layer of energy and enthusiasm.
It does. That's a great thing about our game. You don't have to always come through that traditional draft system. And, you know, irrespective, like not everyone can get that opportunity, but at the end of it, they're being just handed this lifetime ticket of determination and resilience through this experience. And I think it's a great card they've been dealt. They've all been fighting really hard. Yet to work out who ends up getting those spots. But, geez, take our hat off to the resilience, determination to train for that period of time with our group. They've just been fantastic young lads.
Hayden Begg's kick floats across the face for a minor score. Speaking about leadership, it really has been a constant theme. Spent some time, an hour or so, chatting with Chloe McMillan yesterday. She was really impressive. It was lovely to talk to her and get some insight into your program. And she was talking about that whole idea of the coaches are creating the problems and the players come up with the solutions. And that's the sort of philosophy that you guys are implementing, where so often we think about it's the coach's job to come up with the solutions. But when you're sitting in the grandstand on game day, you don't have the time. You've got to be proactive and do it instantly.
Yeah, we've had this philosophy for quite a while that the players are participants in the learning, not recipients. It's not just receive, tell and go and do. So we get our players to analyse and evaluate a phase of play, just like what we're looking at now. Put it on loop. What worked, what didn't, why and why not? What could you create to make this better? Because that way they're doing the thinking. And when players get in a mindset where they're analysing and evaluating and doing the thinking, it stays, it's retained in the mind, and they've got a better chance of going out and execute it versus just go out and do this. It doesn't work anymore. So we're in it with the players, and when you throw it at them like that, it's amazing what they come up with. They usually got some really good ideas, and when there's 50 players, there's a lot of brains there.
Tap into the footy knowledge as Maynard thumps it long. Big pack Teakle in the middle. There's Begg again. Takes a good strong mark. We were talking a little bit earlier about the talls. There's so many good young tall prospects around, and we know they take time. So to have a handful of them all sort of competing against each other sort of helps drive them on. And gee, there's some prospects. Begg's one of them.
Yeah, well, he's been around the system a few years. I just really think, you know, with talls, you know, the longer they're in the system, let it be just at VFL level. You can learn your craft, spend time refining it, and then when you come in, you're not as exposed to the stronger bodies, because often the talls have got the talent. It's just about the physical stature, and sometimes waiting's a good thing. I'll never forget Hawthorn time. James Sicily, who's now captain, he's not a huge player in terms of height, but learned his craft at VFL for quite a few seasons, and when he comes in, he's cherry ripe and can really play at the level. And hopefully when our guys come in, these talls, they're ready. They're not just playing, they're performing.
Yeah, the likes of Oscar Steen and Aidan Begg, really important to have just reps. Because the thing is, when they're kids, they're generally the bigger kids, so they dominate junior football by virtue of being bigger and stronger. Then you come into men's footy and you're not the biggest anymore. In fact, you're the smallest. So it takes a bit of time to just be able to adjust and learn and develop the body.
Yeah, and we're lucky. We've got Josh Fraser, who's lived that. You know, he was drafted a #1 draft pick, but his body was light in stature, and then he built his strength, and he can tell those stories and relate and understands how they feel and think. So, again, they're well resourced. We're really lucky to have Fraser on board. He's been terrific with our development program, and when we've got so many young talls, someone that's lived it, understood it and felt it, he's been really important for us.
Mitchell floats a kick towards 50. There's Sofronides. Tell us a bit about Sam Sofronides. Is he impressed?
Yes, they all have. You know, they've all got different attributes, but as I said, the one thing I've loved about all of them is their resilience and determination to just keep fronting up, learning, listening, trying to understand what is a very complex game plan and fit in is not an easy task, but they've all invested a lot of time, and he's one of them.
That behind from Joe Richards. Kick in from Dean is cut off by Ned Long. Big-bodied midfielder from the Hawks. Here's Nick Dacos. Looks for an option inside 50. It's Myercheck. Quainer gets across. Myercheck gets a second grab. Ball hits the deck. Here's Steen. Jath. Well-timed tackle there from Jed Longmire. He'll be rewarded with a free kick. 20 metres out directly in front. The nephew of Sydney Swans coach John, come down from Corowa, Rutherglen. Played 9 VFL games last year. Gets an opportunity at the next level. So again, great opportunity at VFL programs as well for guys like Jed to spend a summer training with, playing against AFL players. He then goes to the VFL. That's only going to help him become a better player.
Yeah, well, you surround yourself with high performers. You can't help but not be one yourself. So, you know, that's what's been the great thing about these connections to VFL. Those that have just missed out still have the opportunity to shine and be compared. And, you know, we're going to continue to do that, and hopefully out of our VFL program, AFL players appear.
And there's a direct correlation, isn't there, when you go back and you look through even back to your days, you know, with the Hawks and Box Hill, etc., that successful VFL teams often go hand in hand with successful AFL teams. You need a good program for your kids to develop and learn in.
Yeah, and you need alignment in terms of making sure the systems are similar. So if you're playing VFL, everything's resourced exactly the same, as best you possibly can, and game plan is similar. And as I said before, Josh Fraser's running the development program and coaching the VFL, and he's an experienced campaigner, and he makes sure all the philosophies are exactly what they are at AFL level, at VFL level, and that way it's not mixed messages. And that's really important for a player too, not to go to VFL when they're trying to fit into an AFL program and get a different pattern of play.
McCreary kicks out towards Sparks. Here's Carmichael, being busy. High kick inside 50. Dean will come in from the side, got a fist to it. It spills towards Longmire, couldn't control it. Here's Huswaite, pops a handball. McRae, Sullivan's going to get run down. Quick release handball was good for Dean. Bounce beats Frampton, turns Noble around. Coming the other direction is Johnson. Does well, can use the support. Cameron, back to Johnson. Carmichael will work hard to put some pressure on here. Flips it over the top. Allen, off the left boot, chips towards McRae, works hard to get there. McCreary coming the other direction. Sullivan versus Cox. Allen, the fend off Noble. Hill, back to Lockie Sullivan. Wants an option inside 50. He's got a couple to choose from. Good vision from Lockie Sullivan, good composure, and Harvey Harrison can go back and kick for goal from 40 metres out. And it is those little glimpses that you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been so impressed, and I know Scott Selwood this year's pushed really hard, just making sure we're selfless around goal. If you look at Ash Johnson and that square up kick, then it's not an individual mindset down there, it's team first, and I just loved how we squared the ball up to give people a better shot at goal today. It's been fantastic.
Harrison a chance to kick his second from 35 out, makes good contact but tugs it left. Bolts, thanks so much for your time, always lovely to see you, appreciate it. Best of luck for the road ahead.
Thanks, Jace. Good on you, mate.
Now thanks to Brendan Bolton. It's been a better quarter from Bendigo. They've kicked 3 goals in this second term. Margin sits at 47 points. So Ballarat have still won the quarter, but Bendigo have at least got something going in their front half of the ground. With 7 minutes to play in this second period. 3 30-minute periods. As Pendlebury goes to Ryan, to Dacos, back to Pendlebury. Confronted now by Sullivan. So he spreads it wide for Jacob Ryan, who pops the handball over the top. Ned Long tries to work it down the line. Glover, one of the VFL players, cuts in. Sam Glover, so talented at VFL level at both ends of the ground. Can go forward and kick a handful of goals, and then the next week bob up and do a great job as a key defender. He's playing in defence this afternoon. High kick. Cameron and Cox go again in the air. Free kick. It's going to come back to Darcy Cameron, was taken over the shoulder in that contest. So a couple of goals for Nathan Kruger, a couple for Bobby Hill. Singles to Lipinski, Elliott, Cameron, Harrison, Johnson and Sullivan for Ballarat. They've shared the load superbly. Lipinski. Frampton didn't complete the grab. Steen. Harrison tries to power his way through. He's got Sullivan in support. Pokes it with the outside of the boot and misses right. Lockie Sullivan. Just a workhorse. Averages 14.5 to 15 Ks every week in the VFL on his GPS. Massive tank. The ability to win it inside and then spread. Dean. Done some nice things, Charlie Dean. Just wonderful to see him back out there. Had to wait more than a year between games. Had all sorts of problems with his feet. So great to see him have a good summer. Set himself up. Just get some continuity in his game this year. Moore. Contest 25 out. It'll get to Elliott at the back. He tries to fend off Noble, who stuck to the task, stuck the tackle and be rewarded. Goal-saving effort there from John Noble. Short, sizzling kick. Howe had to be precise. Was looking for crisp, and it was nicely read by Lockie Sullivan. Probably just outside his range at 55. Bit of breeze around. He's going to go back and set up here and really give this a launch. 33 goals, 29 in his 69 VFL games. Darcy Moore comes cruising by. But Sullivan will wind up. Can he get it there? Gee, made good contact. Well done, Teakle. Was on the line. Got a hand to it. Minor score. So just under 4 minutes to play in this second period. 1 30-minute period to come after this. The players themselves are going to be empowered to do some scenario work in this final period. Howe with the kick in. Cameron, Teakle, and in the middle of that pack, well done, Myercheck. Hoskin Elliott bounces the handball down the line. Sparks had McCreary, decides to go more direct towards Mason Cox, who had some space. Well done by Markov. Peeled off, got across, and took it to the line. So next Wednesday, it's going to be Collingwood versus North Melbourne, 10 a.m. here at the AIA Centre for a practice match, and then the following Tuesday, February 27, a 6:40 game against Richmond at Icon Park, all building up to the opening round against GWS in Sydney on Saturday, March the 9th. So 2 more hit-outs after this one as we count down to season 2024. Cameron the tap. Sidebottom, can't muscle his way out. Ryan Sparks has him wrapped up. Cameron, nice tap. Sidebottom couldn't quite get an effective kick, so Mitchell gets it off to McInnes. Begg looks to engage. Mason Cox arrives and takes the mark. So both Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron having an impact going forward, which will really please the coaching staff. It can be such an effective tandem. If they can get that balance right and they can both go forward and hit the scoreboard, it's such a bonus when your rucks can do that. No Dan McStay, of course, this year. So the structure of that forward line from a tools perspective, one of the areas it's being tinkered with, and Mason Cox slots the goal. His first of the afternoon. Much better offensive performance from Bendigo in this second period. They were absolutely blitzed in the opening term. It was 11 scoring shots to 3 in favour of Ballarat. Bendigo in the second term managed to kick a few and at least get on the board. Ballarat still been dominant, but at least something for Bendigo to work on in the front half of the ground. Mason Cox already into his 10th season, which is staggering for those of us. I remember calling him in the VFL in his first year and how far he's come, and amazing to think that was 10 years ago. Made his debut back in 2015 in the VFL. Took him a while, played 20 AFL games in 16 and 17, and then really broke out in 2018 when he played 24, but then had that ankle in 19. Was in and out in 2020, sort of passed over in 2021 and had to wait for a new deal. There's a chance he was going to be leaving the Pies. So it's been a long journey for him. Capped with a premiership last year. To Goey. Looks for Bobby Hill and finds him at 50. Busy as always, Bobby. Thought about the short to Sidebottom. Instead, he'll go the other way to Goey. He's just been flying over the summer. Really hungry to get into the games, Jordan. Been training with intensity. He's at his best in these match play situations. Spent plenty of time in the middle of the ground. We know how dangerous he is when he goes forward from 52 metres. That one's tracking left. Final 13 seconds of this second 30-minute period. One more to come. Kick drifts wide. Begg takes the grab in front of Jack Bytel. Begg will go long down the line. Cox will work his way to the front, off hands. And it's the end of the second period. Ballarat extending their lead. They led by 38 points at the first change. That margin out to 44 points at the end of the second period. It's been all Ballarat. Really impressive performance from them. 2 goals to Nathan Kruger, 2 to Bobby Hill. Singles to Lipinski, Elliott, Cameron, Harrison, Johnson, Lockie Sullivan. While for Bendigo, Begg, Cox, Longmire and Bryn Tickle, their goal kickers. We'll take a quick break here at the AIA Centre. 130-minute period still to go. And coming up later tonight, it is the season launch from 7:15 right here on the live stream. You'll hear from Craig McRae. The leadership group will be announced for 2024. Players will be presented on stage. That's still to come this evening. Back with more from the AIA Centre in just a moment.
Come on, one foot in front of the other.
Thanks.
No worries, mate.
For health and life insurance that protects and rewards, search AIA.
This has been a really impressive performance from them. And snap their second. It's low. Is it going to get there? Did it get there? It did not. Crosses Sidebottom, read it beautifully, runs to 45, draws a man, Harrison, Lipinski, well played. Ballarat get another, and Ash Johnson, is it coming back? No, he's going to kick it. He's just enjoying the moment. And there has been a... He finds Mitchell. He'll pop a handball over the top. Carmichael, can he find a target inside 50? He can. It's Myercheck, tight in the pocket. Towards half forward. Cox couldn't complete the mark, but can control it on the deck. Gives it off to Joe Richards. Richards will poke it inside 50. Nice delivery, and here's Myercheck in a much more kickable. Sidebottom looks up, wants an option. That option now presents to the pocket. It's Ash Johnson who takes the grab. And he's got it 45 out, tight angle. So tell us about being a little bit more of a big picture coach, which then enables him to sort of work on finer details while the other guys take a little bit more of the workload in other ways.
Yeah, I think the the perception and idea that it's been in AFL for a long time, which I'm sure it was 20 years ago, where the senior coach is across and owning absolutely everything, have changed considerably. The job's just far too big, and Fly's just an amazing manager of people. So let it be the players really coaching the human elements of the game and the connections with each other. He does that with staff as well, and then uses the expertise of those around him. You know, Justin Lepage is fantastic with strategy, footy strategy, so he's driving and coaching coaches in and around that space. I'm looking a little bit more at how we're delivering our messages and how the learning environments put in front of the players, and our coaches all have their areas, let it be forward, mids, backs and stoppages. And
Ray being a little bit more of a big picture coach, which then enables him to sort of work on finer details while the other guys take a little bit more of the workload in other ways.
Yeah, I think the the perception and idea that it's been in AFL for a long players. There's a lot of brains there.
Tap into the footy knowledge as Maynard thumps it long. Big pack Teakle in the middle. There's Begg again. Takes a good strong mark. We're talking a little bit.
Players. There's a lot of brains there.
Tap into the footy knowledge as Maynard thumps it long. Big pack Teakle in the middle. There's Begg again. Takes a good strong mark. We're talking second grab. Ball hits the deck. Here's Steen. Jath. Well-timed tackle there from Jed Longmire. McCreary coming the other direction. Sullivan versus Cox. Allen, the fend off Noble. Hill, back to Lockie Sullivan. All set for the final period at AIA Centre. It's the inaugural Goldfields Cup, Collingwood's final intra-club hit-out before their practice matches to come in future weeks against North Melbourne and Richmond. It's been all Ballarat. They led by 38 points at the first change, 7-4-46 to 1-2-8 at the end of this second period. 44 points is the margin. 11-8-74 to Bendigo, 4-6-30. A much more competitive second term from Bendigo. 1 30-minute period to come with some scenario, end-of-game scenario focus towards the back end of this period. Players will drive that themselves as part of their empowerment program. As we start the final period, Jason Bennett here with you at the AIA Centre. Lockie Schultz to join us shortly for a chat, provide some insight as we start the final period. Steen against Teakle. To Goey there. Well done. Huswaite gathers, runs into McCreary. Pendlebury. Now to Crisp. Inside 50, Myercheck. Fights through Sofronides. His tackle gets boot to ball. Just misses to the right-hand side. Brody's second behind of the game. More with the kick in. Straight up the middle. Well done, Mitchell. Huswaite came over the top to get it to ground. Bytel and Sidebottom. Steele picks it up. Immediately tackled by Mitchell. Somehow found his boot. Sofronides. Markov. Mulvogue. Now Elliott. Bends it across the body towards the wing. Awkward bounce for Cameron. He'll be first back onto it. Can look inside. He's got a runner. It's Ed Allen. Floats a handball forward. Not to the advantage of Johnson, who's got Ned Long to deal with. Was taken down when not in possession. Advantage will be paid. Here's McRae. Sizzling in the opening term. Squares it up. Hill the target. He marks. 25 out directly in front. Bobby Hill kicked a couple in the opening term. Chance to go back and kick for his third of the afternoon. Be paid. Sixth year in the AFL system, Bobby Hill, originally taken at pick 24 in 2018 by GWS, played 41 games there, was a fringe player for part of that period. Battled testicular cancer in 2022, ended his season midway through, traded to Collingwood for a couple of draft picks, and what value he's been as he kicks his third this afternoon. Bobby Hill having a great summer. In that high forward role, can get up and back, create some space, can hold width on the open side of the ground, can play deep, can push up, get involved further up the ground, just so flexible, good in the air and on the deck. He's kicked 3 this afternoon. Margin out to 49 points. Still just 23 years of age, Bobby. 65 AFL games, so just starting to enter his sweet spot of his career. Some exciting years to come. So it's going to be Steen to continue in the ruck against Bryn Teakle. Former Port Adelaide player is fighting for an SSP spot. Huswaite versus Pendlebury. Mitchell and De Goey. And then Crisp and Ed Allen. Ball hits the deck. Huswaite will get there first. Can't control it. Well done, Crisp. Gets it inside 50 for Bendigo. Off the hands of McInnes. Myercheck at ground level. Flips it in the Joe Richards direction. Back onto his left side. Dean got a hand in there. Longmire. Handball inside. McCreary confronted. Quick hands. Intercepted. Huswaite, Steen, Quainer. And away comes Harrison. Provided some run and dash. Johnson working up to the wing. Cameron's got some space. Frampton will get there just in time. Slaps towards the line. And Ned Long can't keep it alive. Promising prospect, Ned Long, just 21 years of age. A couple of years in the Hawthorn program. Had a foot problem in mid-21, his draft year, so he's a bit of a slider. Taken in the rookie draft. 5 AFL games for the Hawks. Come across to join the Collingwood program this year. Carmichael. Noble. Howe. Now Pendlebury. Crisp to Teakle. Here's Joe Richards. Bobby Hill looks to put some pressure on. Richards will drive it towards the pocket. Longmire worked off it in the air by Dean. And away comes Markov. Flirts with the boundary line. It's going to pitch just inside. And a throw in. Harvey Harrison receiving a little bit of work there. Warm conditions at the AIA Centre. Certainly more pleasant than yesterday. McCreary spears it inside 50. Sofronides in there. Dean goes to ground. Myercheck from the pocket. Bends it across the face of goal. Throw in adjacent to the behind post. Really healthy crowd in this afternoon. Everyone just eager for a taste of footy and for the new campaign to start. Speaking of eager, speaking of new, another special guest joining us, Lockie Schultz. Great to have you with us, mate. Great to see you.
Hi, Jace. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I've been a big fan of your journey from all the way back in the VFL days when we'd be out at Willie on those days when it was rain coming in sideways and hailing and we couldn't see out of the commentary box and you couldn't see the other end of the ground. You've come a long way.
I know, it's good. It's good. It's been a long journey, but here we are now, so I'm happy to be here.
Jamie Elliott will kick it high towards the wing. Cameron, over the top came Frampton. Why Collingwood?
Why not, I guess. But I suppose I was keen to come home. So
yep.
When I found out that Collingwood were interested, it was a no-brainer in the end, I think. Yeah, but primarily just wanted to get home. It was time to come home, and then yeah, the rest sort of looked after itself. So yeah.
Originally from Moama, up on the Murray River. Bendigo Pioneers, so your boys are getting pumped this afternoon. You'd be in the Bendigo camp, wouldn't be too happy.
No, I was in the Bendigo team until Monday, but pretty flat for that.
Away comes Quainer. He'll chip it high and wide. Sidebottom's got to wait underneath it. He marks just inside the line. Tell us about the transition of the Pies. Tell us firstly, I guess, about the comparison. Everyone always asks when you come from one program to another. What have you seen that's been markedly different?
This time of year, it's sort of hard to get a grasp on it. I suppose every pre-season, you're always focusing on fitness and skills and game plan and stuff like that. This time of year, now we're getting into games. Obviously, it'll start. I'll start noticing the differences, I suppose. And but yeah, it's just such a great club, obviously. But yeah, at the moment. There's not much I can really say on that front, but yeah, obviously exciting group with a lot of talent, and looking forward to getting out there and playing alongside them all.
Markov streams through the middle, uses to Goey. Pressure comes from Richards. He shrugs the shoulders and slips away. Kick over the head of Mulvogue, who's got a bit of time to track back onto this. Ryan will come across to put some pressure on. Mulvogue just chipped the kick, but it's picked off by Jack Crisp. Well done by Hustwaite, captain of the VFL team over the last few years. Campbell Hustwaite, wonderful to see him getting an opportunity at this level to show his wares. As a fellow ex-VFL alumni, to see some of those VFL guys that have been working hard, slogging away, working on a trade or whatever it is they're doing 9 to 5. Great opportunity to see those sort of kids get that opportunity that you have managed to grab with both hands.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a massive advocate for the VFL boys coming in, having a crack. Obviously, ready-made AFL players. A lot of them have plenty of talent and definitely have the skills required to make the top level and become a player of themselves. So great to see them having a crack at it here today, and as they have all pre-season, and they've shown that they fit in really well around the place and in the program. And yeah, I'm sure that one or two of them will get a chance at some stage.
The difference for you becoming a full-time footballer, we look at all these guys in the VFL and think, geez, they've got some talent, but there's just that untapped potential immediately of being able to become a pro footballer, so you're not climbing around roofs or digging ditches during the day and coming to training after you're already exhausted. That ability to then just focus purely on footy, what does that do for you as a player?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I came from a plumbing background myself, so it was long days. Getting up at 5:30 and slugging it out in a trench all day with the shovel, and then getting the training at Willie and
You're already sore, you're already tired, you're already tight.
Exactly right. And then yeah, training, and you're not getting home till 9-10 o'clock at night, and then you go again the next day. So yeah, just being in that elite environment where you're constantly getting focusing on recovery, and you've got the elite assets around you, like staff and physio, to get you in the best possible place to perform at your highest level it's been massive for me, and I'm sure it would be for many other guys as well.
Allen squares up the kick to Goey, off to Lipinski. He chips inside 50. That's great ball movement from Ballarat. Brought it from out wide into the corridor. We know that's the Collingwood way, to be really aggressive, and Nathan Kruger an opportunity to go back and kick his third of the afternoon. Player empowerment, leadership, certainly been a theme across the summer. How does that compare to Fremantle in terms of the theme sort of been coaches come up with the problems and the players come up with solutions here? Is that common?
I don't think it's uncommon. I think it's obviously got, the list has got such a good sort of diversity with age group. You've got the experienced players like Pendles and Sidey, and then the new young guys coming through like Quainer and Nick. It's just like such a good balance, and obviously when you put all those guys together in one room, it's pretty easy to get to a solution pretty quickly. So
there's a lot of IQ there, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly right.
Third goal for Nathan Kruger. He's been impressive this afternoon. He's had some great delivery. So athletic alongside the likes of Ash Johnson. Talls have been a real focus this afternoon. Cameron and Cox have both been really effective. Oscar Steen's had some time in the middle. Aiden Beggs had some opportunities to ruck. Nathan Kruger's looked really good forward. Ash Johnson has got his hands on a couple. Kicked a goal in the first period. So the key stocks, pretty healthy for the Pies. Ballarat in control. The third of these 30-minute periods. Cox and Cameron in the middle of the ground. Neither an effective tap. Sidebottom comes in off the wing, slices his way through some traffic, floats a kick inside 50. McRae couldn't control it. How the tackle on Johnson. Your role at Collingwood this year, is it going to be similar to what we've seen you play at Fremantle?
Yeah, absolutely. Primarily that sort of high half forward, go up and pinch hit at stoppages and inside, and spit forward. So nothing new for me, but excited to play with a new group of boys and a new game style as well. So yeah, very exciting.
Ryan to Hoskin Elliott to Bytel. Nice delivery down the line to Ned Long. A couple of the names there of players that are on the outside looking in, trying to get another opportunity at AFL level. Here's Jacob Ryan. Just looking for an injury-free season to get some continuity into his football. The 19-year-old, originally from Brighton in South Australia. Had some stress issues with his back. And then a neck and a shoulder problem last year. To Goey. To Sidebottom. We'll go down the line and find Harrison, who's back out there after getting some medical treatment. Off to Lipinski. He'll look inside to Goey, the target. Ball movement today has been so slick from the Ballarat side. Frampton had a couple to beat in the air, did well, got it to ground. Kruger, can he keep it alive? Flips it over his head. Huswaite tried to keep it moving. Frampton tried to tap it on. McRae, Huswaite can't get through the noble tackle. Play on the call, and eventually the umpire is going to call for it. So you watch guys like Scott Pendlebury and Steele Sidebottom from afar for a long time. What's it been like to actually see them up close and see how they prepare and get to know them a little bit as people as well as footballers?
Yeah, obviously it's an experience that sort of you have to see to believe. It's just the professionalism that they both go by. You hear a lot about it from the outside, and stepping into their world, it's everything you hear about them is true. They're just the ultimate professional, and they still love the game more than anything. Like I think that's been the biggest thing I've taken away from them. They love footy, and they love playing and love training. They love their teammates and love winning like we all do. So I think that's why they've been so successful over their careers, and why they're still playing at such an elite level today. So yeah, it's incredible to be able to pull the boots on alongside them, and looking forward to playing with them all year.
Nathan Kruger with a rundown tackle on Noble. Just another example of his athleticism. Floats a kick inside 50, not ideal for Cameron. It's punched away by Maynard and tidied up by Crisp. He'll sweep it towards the outer side. Bytel waits underneath it, marks in front of Quainer. Jack Bytel, the former Saint, inside to Mitchell. He'll go back outside. Jacob Ryan providing some run from the back. Bytel over the top if he wants to use him. He'll go there now. Bytel looks up, wants an option. Chips it high towards the pocket. Dean engages McInnes. Ball hits the ground. Reef flips it on. Crisp. Now McCreary. Snapshot at goal from 40 out. Good looking kick, but just misses to the right-hand side. Bo McCreary. So back in Melbourne, are you enjoying being home? Do you feel more settled again? New, fresh opportunity, so that's exciting in itself, but back in familiar surrounds?
Yeah, definitely. As I said before, we touched on it earlier, I thought the time was right for me to come home, and the opportunity arose, and I'm settling in nicely. Just being able to be back around family and have my partner back with her family as well has just been huge for the both of us. And
that work-life balance is important, isn't it?
Exactly right, yeah, and Fly preaches that a lot here as well. So it's definitely the perfect club for family, the family side of it, and having that balance as well. And it's been awesome. I've just settled right in, and I'm sure my mum's happy to have me home. So it's all going well.
Glover to Jath to Moore. We go short to Lockie Sullivan. So plenty of the football this afternoon, Lockie. Carmichael stands the mark. Sullivan's got Cameron Long down the line. He'll head in that direction. Darcy against Cox. Johnson came over the top as the third man. He's taken to the line by Crisp. Umpire says ball, throw it in. So Ballarat by 53 points with 14 minutes to go in the third of these 30-minute periods. Looks like the two teams are going to come together now to do some scenario stuff, to work out some late game management scenario. And Collingwood obviously were well known for that last year from the outside looking in. They just found ways to continually win games. It's become a real focus here over the last couple of years, and I think at every session pretty much you're doing end-of-game scenario stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen by fluke, that's for sure. Definitely, everyone knows their roles, and it's very clear. And as you touched on, we train it every session. So, yeah, it's definitely no fluke why they were so good in those close games, and they've got a lot of confidence out of it as well. So I think each time that they win one, it just
reinforces what you're doing.
Reinforces what they're doing. So I'm sure, we'll see some exciting play here as well.
Without giving away too much, is it a case of having multiple modes? So depending on whether you're in front or behind, have you got multiple scenarios for when you're behind or multiple scenarios for when you're in front? Because obviously you're going to have to keep mixing things up because other teams will be looking in and picking apart what you're doing.
Absolutely, and that all changes on what part of the ground the ball's being played on and the weather and there's plenty of different factors that come into it. And as you touched on the scoreboard, obviously if you're in front, you're going to try and shut the game down, aren't you? So I'm sure one team here will be looking to hold on to a lead, and the other team will be given everything to get back in front.
It's easy from the outside when we talk about it, but how do you guys communicate that out on the field? Because you don't have the chance to do what we're doing right here, which is pull everyone together in a timeout sort of scenario to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Is it with code words? Is it messages from the bench? How do you spread that information across 18 players to make sure everyone understands they're on the same page? Because quite often with these scenarios, they're zone-based. So if you just get one player out of position, the whole thing breaks down. Yeah,
exactly right. I think, there's a lot of code words that go into it, and it comes from the box. But at the same time, by the time the message gets out onto the field, all the players know it inside out, and they're already in that sort of play or that zone or that structure that they need to be anyway. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed is just how clear the communication is when it goes into that. Everyone knows exactly what their role is, and it's not just that they're worried about themselves. Everyone's sorting out their teammates as well. So there's plenty of communication going on. At the hardest part of the game, the boys get louder. So it's pretty exciting to watch, actually.
And it is a combination of watching tape, sort of classroom education, and then going out and running things on the field, and then maybe even beyond that, individual line coaching stuff with, for example, you to say to your line coach, okay, in this scenario, am I in the right spot, or no, I need to push across and cover that area?
Yep, yeah, exactly right, yeah. So we'll run through it, as you said, we'll do it every session. We'll go through some sort of scenario, and then we'll review it in film at the end of it and sit down with the coach and say, see how you went individually, but as a line as well, as a forward line, we'll go through it all together and make sure that everyone was in the right spot and executed their role properly, and then as a team as well. So I think, as you said, if one person falls down, everyone falls down, but just how precise everyone is, it's rare.
So we start our end-of-game management scenario. One team will be assumed to have had a lead with a certain amount of time on the clock, so they'll be looking to shut the game down. The other team are going to be looked to be more expansive and creative to come from behind. Sullivan, Sofronides, McRae floats over his head. Quainer there in support. Carmichael will get there first. Pops a handball to Bytel. Back to Carmichael, running out of space and out of bounds. So of your week that you spend around a footy club, how much of it would you consider to be cerebral, mental learning as opposed to physical?
I think, we'll start every day with the sort of the learning part of the game, whether that's tape or meetings or with the sports psych or individually with the coach. And then we'll go out onto the field, obviously, on our main training days and do our on-field session, which is a good hit out, especially in pre-season, you're out there for a while. And then there's plenty of touch sessions and stuff on the indoor field that we have now as well. So plenty of resources that we use.
Quainer will have the kick from defensive 50. High towards the wing, plenty of height in this contest. Frampton will track it back in the air. Hill forces a contest. Frampton wins it. Teakle, handball cut off. Steen, slick hands McRae, draws a crowd through to Sullivan. Elusive through traffic. Hill wants to try and draw Frampton with the ankle breaker. Weaves his way through. Feeds it back to Cameron. Back to Bobby Hill. That'll be in his tape. He'll be showing that to Billy a little bit later. Hill comes again. Hustwaite couldn't control it. Now it's got a problem, but somehow managed to find it. Bobby's still involved. Flips it out. And umpire says it's a throw after all of that. He's exciting, Bobby Hill.
Oh, he's as exciting as they come. I love watching him. Love playing alongside him too. It's a very, very good opportunity coming along.
Pendlebury to Maynard. Spreads it wide. Hoskin Elliott had some big clutch moments, key times in last year's campaign. He'll thump it long down the line. Jath will fly over the top. Ball will hit the deck. Richards, tackled by Sidebottom. Ball spills out. Umpire says play on. Sidebottom, a little flip was clever. Johnson threw his boot at it towards the wing. Pitches inside the line. Over and out. Talk us through your current situation, injury-wise, body-wise, health-wise. Where are you at?
No, I'm feeling good. I've had a full pre-season under the belt, so I'm feeling in really good condition. Had a little bit of a boot go through the back of my knee on Monday at training, so just a deep corky that ruled me out for today, but nothing stressful, nothing that I'm worried about, and I'll be out there next week. So looking forward to that one.
Next Wednesday against North Melbourne, 10 a.m. here at the AIA Centre. First of the practice matches. Game against Richmond to come the following week. Through the middle of the ground, Sparks. He's got some run from behind McCreery, couldn't control it, but he's got support. Bytel off to McCreery from 55 out. Low ball for Myercheck. Sofronides handball a little fierce for Quainer. Flipped over the top by Dean. And Moore can clear the zone. Out wide for Steen. Bounces just inside the line and out. So you'll be good to go next Wednesday against the Kangas?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'll pencil that one in. So hopefully get a good session in on Friday. I had a little run around today to get moving again, and then hopefully have a good session on Friday and back on track.
Steen against Teakle. Hustwaite, Markov, Sidebottom. Handball misses to Goey. Jordan follows up, and then Steele follows up again. Wins the football in the end. Bends the kick across into the path of Cameron to run onto. He chooses to shepherd. Opens the door for Lipinski. Back. Cameron and Lipinski. Inside 50. Kruger at the back against Noble. Great recovery from the big man to Goey. Considers his options. Bounces it cleverly through, and Mulvogel finish. Great vision from Jordan to Goey. And Chad Mulvogue kicks the goal, his first of the afternoon. The 20-year-old, originally from Langwarrin, came up through their junior program. Was a rising star at league level and Team of the Year in 2021 and 6 VFL games in 22. Very good pace, wing, half-back type, good in the contest. 9 VFL games last year. Great opportunity for him to test himself this afternoon against AFL quality players for Chad Mulvogue. Key part of Collingwood's VFL program over the last couple of years. So 6.5 to play in this third and final period at the AIA Centre. Jason Bennett alongside Lockie Schultz. Process beyond this. Turn up tomorrow, go through tape at a macro level, and then at an individual, a line level, and then even at an individual level. Is it all those levels of feedback in the loop?
Yeah, absolutely. So the teams will obviously split back up into the Ballarat and the Bendigo sides, and they'll go through everything. And then from that, you'll have your line meetings as well. So the forwards will go through their vision, the mids and the backs. And then after that, you go and catch up with the coaches individually and go through your own vision.
Carmichael. Dacos. Beautiful kick off the left, so balanced inside to Pendlebury. Speaking of balance, McCreery. Happy knack of just bobbing up in dangerous positions, McCreery. Inside to Maynard. He'll complete the aggressive switch to the outer side. How's it going to bounce? Long's there. Hoskin Elliott will get there first. Kruger looks to close him down. Short kick towards Joe Richards. Richards will chip it down the line and find Bytel. 70 metres from goal, looking into the sun. He'll wind up and go high and long. Mason Cox in the middle of that pack. It'll get over the back. Quainer providing support defence at the back. Ball pitches just inside the line. Stays alive. Well done, Carmichael. Wants to take on the tackler. Quainer keeps it alive. Markov. He's engulfed by McCreery. Ball up. What have you enjoyed most about this summer with the Pies?
I think the intensity the boys go at. It's just you can see why they've been so successful. They train the way they play. It's just there's no taking backward steps anywhere. They're just so exciting to play with and train with, and yeah, we've seen a lot of intensity today, and it's been the theme of the whole summer. So yeah, it's obviously preach a lot here, but to see it firsthand and be amongst it it's pretty special.
Hill bounces it towards Johnson, flipped to the top, to the voice rather of Mulvogue, but it's cut off by Howe. Frampton, Longmire will drive in the Mason Cox direction. Well done by Charlie Dean, read it well, got across, Myercheck, and Sofronides hassles him over and out. The opportunity to play those big blockbuster games, it's always one of the appeals of going to the big Victorian clubs. It must be something that really gets you excited when you think about Collingwood faithful, 100,000 at the MCG and just a home and away game. Yeah,
definitely. I think the biggest crowd I played in front of was 93,000, and that was in a semi-final against Collingwood. So to be back out there in front of them all again, but to be on their side is going to be pretty cool.
Crisp taken down. Remember, we played in front of about 10,000. Well, you know, the night went out, the lights went out. We played that final at Punt Road, remember? Was doing that game for 7 in the middle of the game, and the lights went out for about 15 minutes.
That's right. What a crazy night that was.
Noble's kick goes out of bounds on the full. I really enjoyed your journey. It's been wonderful to watch.
Thank you.
There's always a special fraternity amongst those that have come through the VFL.
Definitely.
And I'm sure you look around the league and you see other guys that, because you can sympathise and empathise with the, how hard that journey is.
Oh, exactly right. Yeah, you sort of always have a special bond with the guys that have come through, and either you played against them or you know of them, and there's guys that like I never played with, like Charlie Dean. He went through Williamstown as well. I never played with him, but as soon as I saw him, we just had a bond that we didn't even know we had. So you definitely, from your grassroots, you've got that connection already.
And what a wonderful club Williamstown's been. Churned out some wonderful players, even just over the last decade, that have gone on and played at AFL level, the likes of Kane Lambert and Michael Gibbons, and there's plenty more besides. It's a wonderful culture down there at Willie.
Pendles actually reminded me the other day he spent a bit of time at Williamstown.
He did,
as
that's
well.
right, when they had the alignment with the Magpies. Won a premiership together, didn't they, Williamstown and Collingwood, many years ago. Alan Lipinski from tight on the angle. We'll have a look at this, Pat Lipinski. That is a magnificent finish. Lovely goal from Pat Lipinski. Kicks his second of the afternoon. Great finish from him. Ballarat at another. It's been a really, really good performance from them right from the outset. Pat Lipinski just puts the punctuation mark on it with a wonderful goal from the angle. Got the handball through from Allen. A couple of steps to steady and then a wonderful finish. It's been a high quality hit out. Plenty of players, both established and fringe players, getting their hands on the football, getting some confidence. And really this time of the year, that's what it's about, isn't it? The fitness is there. You understand the game plan. Now it's about just going out there and getting the hands on the footy to feel like you're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly right. Obviously there's a lot of difference in training and gameplay, and you get that sort of match fitness out of it as well. And it's just good to put all the practice into what you practice into action. So I'm sure the boys are loving it.
And a chance to do it against real opposition next week. Sullivan to Sidebottom. The Sullivans look really comfortable at the level this afternoon. Out to Bobby Hill. Been outstanding with 3 goals. And that Hill-Schultz combination is going to be exciting across half forward and inside 50 for the Pies this year. Kick towards Maynard. And he cuts it off. Who have you been matched up against most often? Have you found yourself playing on it at training?
Obviously, Johnny Noble, Oleg, Bruzzy Maynard. To be fair, it changes a lot.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is great. You get to try against everything. So they've all got their own strengths, and it's great for both of us to be able to change up our opponents. I think.
And that should be all. Siren will go any moment. It's going to be Ballarat who will take out the inaugural Goldfields Cup. Jordan Roughhead with bragging rights over Scott Selwood. Hoskin Elliott, high kick inside 50. Off the hands of the contest. Huswaite on the bottom of that pack with McCreery. Having so much fun, we're just going to keep playing. I'm in no hurry, I got nowhere to go. Ball up, 40 out. Cameron down to Sidebottom. Bounces the kick. Over the top comes Hoskin Elliott against Sullivan. Does well, wins the football, looks to accelerate away. Lunging effort from Hoskin Elliott affected the kick. Bounces towards the wing, tracking it back's Maynard. Happy to see it out. So next up for the Pies, next Wednesday against North Melbourne, 10 a.m. here at the AIA Centre. That game also live on KO. And then the following week, Tuesday the 27th of Feb, a 6:40 game against Richmond at Icon Park, also on KO. Leading into the opening round against GWS, Saturday, March 9, up there in Sydney. Saturday night game in opening round before the Pies return to Melbourne to unfurl the premiership flag in front of the faithful. Cameron, bounce towards half forward. Hill versus Hoskin Elliott. And out. Teakle against Cameron. McCreery runs onto it. Pops a little handball over the top. Richards. He's held in the tackle by McCreery. It's going to come back. Short to Teakle. Maynard immediately tackled by Oscar Steen. I said no prior opportunity. Ball up. Richards does well, really well. Created some space where there was none. Can now run away with the football. Pops a handball laterally to Mitchell. He'll flip it over the top to Carmichael. Carmichael to Noble. Can he find an option at 50? Spreads it for Longmire. Lots of players back in position here for Ballarat. So Longmire will pop it towards the top of the square. McInnes will come across. Does he complete the mark? Umpire says no, play on. They pile in on top. Teakle in there. Manages to extract it and flip it out to keep it alive, but Moore's there to tidy it up. Glover. Handball a little too high for Lipinski. Opens the door for Carmichael, who's been impressive. Huswaite had it stolen by Carmichael. Quick kick back towards the square. And Darcy Cameron back there where the defensive ruckman should be, having an impact. We talked about the blend of youth and experience. It does seem healthy as the final siren goes, and it's all Ballarat. They win the inaugural Goldfields Cup comfortably in the end by 65 points. Plenty of positives to take out of this afternoon, Lockie. I was just about to say the youth and experience is one thing, and the blend of smalls and talls, and particularly the depth in the tall department. There's so many youngsters, like we're looking at Oscar Steen, who are at different stages of their development. We know the talls take a little bit longer, but there's so much depth there to work with and to continue to develop.
Absolutely. It puts a lot of pressure on spots as well, and forces guys to perform in their roles. So it's healthy competition, and we're seeing it at training. We're seeing it today, and it's great to watch, and it's great to and manage to get the best out of everyone. So yeah, it's great.
So bragging rights go to the Ballarat team. They will win the inaugural Goldfields Cup. Lockie, thanks so much for your time. Lovely to see you again, mate. Congratulations on all the success you've had so far. We look forward to seeing you in action in 2024. Lockie Schultz joining us. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jace. Hopefully I went better than Nige Carmody.
There you go. Lockie Schultz joining us. We'll have the presentation of the Goldfields Cup. There's been a bit of chat this week between the two groups, Ballarat and Bendigo. We saw Ballarat with a pre-planned goal celebration right on quarter time. They've been in control of this one from the outset. It's been a really impressive performance from them. 3 goals to Nathan Kruger, 3 goals to Bobby Hill, 2 to Pat Lipinski, singles to Elliott, Cameron, Harrison, Johnson, Mulvogue and Sullivan. Jordan Roughhead, the winning coach, gets one up on Scott Selwood, while for Bendigo, all single goal kickers, Begg, Cox, Longmire and Bryn Teakle. In the end, it's Ballarat. Comfortable winners here. They'll claim the inaugural Goldfields Cup. Plenty more to look forward to. Coming up in just under an hour's time, it's the official Collingwood season launch for 2024. You're going to see it right here on the live stream. You'll hear from Craig McRae. Players will be presented with their jumpers for the season. The leadership group will be announced. So that is coming up shortly. The two teams are going to come together in the middle of the ground now. A little bit of a debrief. Then they're going to make their way around the fence, see the Collingwood Army, sign some autographs, get some selfies, etc., and then head inside and get set for the season launch. So you can see that season launch coming up from 7:15 tonight, right here on the live stream. Thanks so much for your company this afternoon. It's been great to have you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Lots to look forward to for the Magpies. Memberships, of course, on sale right now. Just waiting on the presentation of the inaugural Goldfields Cup and all the lip that will no doubt come from the Ballarat crew to the Bendigo crew over the next couple of days. As we tick down to season 2024. Players all come together in the middle of the ground. Craig McRae now addressing the group.
This will be the last time to thank them and wish them well. Unfortunately, we only got 3 spots on the list, and we'll make some decisions in the next 24 hours. But maybe we'll get all of them out the front. If we can get you guys to just be unbelievable, so come out the front. Give them a round of applause, guys. As well, but we'll make some decisions. And one of the pleasing things is when you offer opportunities that guys just come in and they give you absolutely everything and your best. And we've seen all of you grow in different versions. If it's not with us, you know, if it's not in our AFL environment, maybe it's our VFL, hopefully. But we wish you all the best for whatever the future is for you guys. And if you're lucky enough to be a Collingwood player, you thoroughly deserve it. And if you're not, keep fighting hard, because we continue to look for opportunities for you guys to come into our system. So once again, thanks so much for it. Okay, the last thing we'll do is present the captain. We've got Jack here from Oh, okay, it's timely. So come out the front, mate. Geordie's the captain, so we'll hand over the Goldfields Cup. Thanks, mate. Yeah, first of all, massive achievement, so thank you, thanks for that. Yeah, Ballarat, beautiful part of the world, we all love getting down there. Yeah, stoked to get the job done. But thanks to the Black Team, great competition. Obviously dressed for your funeral, but anyway. Okay, well done, you've got a 10-minute signing session.
And so the lip begins. Jordan Goey fires the first shot. Ballarat over Bendigo, comfortable winners this afternoon. Craig McRae calling out all those SSP players that aren't on the Collingwood list at the moment that are fighting for a spot. That decision will be made in the coming days. An opportunity to get onto that Collingwood senior list. Just thanking them for their time, not only this afternoon, but right across the summer. Of all, as we heard from the likes of Justin Lethbridge and Brendan Bolton, have all worked so hard across the summer, have added to the program, hopefully improved their own game. Maybe some of them will stick around in the VFL program if they don't make it onto the AFL senior list, but a wonderful opportunity and a great experience for them nonetheless that will no doubt make them better players in the long term as the winners, the spoils. Gee, I tell you what, the Ballarat team are really rubbing it in here. They're not just going to get off the ground and go about it quietly. They're really going to stick it to the Bendigo blokes. The inaugural Goldfields Cup goes the way of Ballarat. Hey, thanks very much, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it. Jason Bennett signing off from the AIA Centre here. It is Ballarat, big winners.